It's Sunday, so we are a day later. I got all the stuff I needed to get done around the house pretty much this morning, so now I'm going to spend the afternoon drawing, which is great because that rarely happens. And I am determined to finish this thing today, except maybe the final page, because that's going to be a whole separate video. However, I have 3 pages left, one of which is a separate page, the other is a spread. So I'm thinking for the page, I'm going to do this page in the Morpho book. I just think it has a few different things I can draw, so I like that, and plus it warms me up a little bit. For the spread, I'm not too sure, just because I was thinking of going within the same vein as last night, which was drawing some different cartoon characters that I felt like drawing. The thing is, though, I'm thinking my last page might be of the same vein, so I don't know, we'll see. I just figure I already know what I'm doing on the one page, so I'll do it and then figure out later what I'm gonna do on the spread. Without further ado, let's get drawing. Welcome to part 2 and day 2 of finishing up this sketchbook. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, I'll put it on the screen up here somewhere. You don't really have to see the first part to enjoy this part, but if you want to watch me draw some nostalgic cartoon characters to fill in some space in my sketchbook, I highly recommend checking out part 1 after this one. As for what I'm doing here, as you can see, I was really struggling with this page. I don't know what it was about the faces I was doing, but none of them, in my humble opinion, resembled the page from the Morpho book. They also really looked awkward on the page. I think it was because I had drawn them the same size as what I saw in the book. And if you saw the Morpho book in this video, I did show it in the beginning, you'll see that it's not the biggest book. It is tiny. So on a sketchbook that is much larger, I think the sketchbook is 11 by 8, but I'm not sure. It just looks really strange. Looking back, I wish I had done them a bit bigger and maybe took some more time on them, but it was almost as if the more faces I drew, the more I didn't want to draw them. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced that. I was initially so excited about just copying the page as a warm-up, but then, I don't know, somewhere along the way I wanted to draw anything but human faces. So it's funny how that'll translate into the rest of the video, because I do not draw any human faces after this page, just because I think it took the joy out of it, I'll be honest. I probably should have just stopped. If you ever feel that resistant to something that you're doing, I just think, especially if it's not something that's crucial, like, you know, kind of have to work to make a living, it's not worth torturing yourself over. So definitely stop. Art is supposed to be enjoyable to at least some degree, and this page, especially towards the end, I was just not feeling it anymore. And looking back, that's a good reason to stop. So take the advice that I probably should have gotten or given myself. I just wasn't in that mode of thinking. I was just thinking, I gotta fill a page. This isn't too bad. Or, you know, towards the end, I was just thinking, I'm almost done. Let's just finish this. So with this next face, I would say it was my least favorite on that page. It looked so out of place and small compared to the others. It didn't really capture the likeness of what I've been copying from the Morpho book. And honestly, I don't know. That every time I look at that page, I cringe because I see that face, but I don't think there was a face on this page that I was happy with. So I guess it kind of fits at the same time. I did cut out a lot of erasing in this video because I'm pretty sure no one wants to watch me erase everything because it would be a good amount of time in this video. But I thought it was important to also include some of the erasing, because I think it's good for other people to realize that we aren't perfect. Some of us do struggle with art. Some days it comes easy, some days it doesn't. And it could also just be the subject matter as well, because as you'll see later on in the video, I don't struggle as much with other drawings, or maybe I did, but it came out good in the end, so I was happy with the product. But this whole page took me at least an hour to an hour and a half between erasing, pausing to look at the drawing I was copying, and just pausing a lot in general. That's something I do a lot, and the editor in me always ends up hating the artist in me to some degree when I'm editing these videos, because the amount of times I will pause just to move my pencil around in my hand for some reason, or to just stare at it, at what I've been doing, and thinking who knows what. So it is something I would like to work on, just because it's a nightmare to edit. But I also think maybe that's just something I shouldn't fiddle with, because it is how I naturally do these things. So all that being said, I don't fully regret doing this page. While it was extremely frustrating at times and nowhere near as much fun as I thought it might be, the drawing I do after this one on the next page is what I'm extremely proud of. It is definitely one of my favorites from this sketchbook session, and maybe even one of my favorites in the whole book, like the whole sketchbook. So when we get to that, I'll definitely be talking about it. We're still here though. And God, I also hate this one too. this drawing of this guy, I struggled so much with his profile, and even in the end it was not what it was supposed to be. His head looked so weird. I'm pretty sure the skull is not correct. It should be bigger. But as I said, I was so done with this, probably at this point, that I just wanted it to be over with. And again, that's another sign that I should have just stopped. And because of that, I don't really have much more to say on what's happening here. I think I'm just gonna let it go to the drawing sounds. They're a little relaxing, so I'll let them do the job of filling the silence for a bit, and I'll pop back on when we finally finish this page. So I lied. I did want to just hop on here one more time to say that I really did like the Morpho page initially because of the variety in the faces. You can tell that some of them are from models who have different ethnic backgrounds, which I think allows for practice drawing those facial features, the kinds that you do tend to see with certain ethnicities. And I really need practice on it, as you can see. I mean, I need practice on heads in general. So I think 100 heads challenge might be in my future. I just don't think I'll be doing them from the Morpho book for obvious reasons. But I would like to explore that and get better at drawing faces, especially from different ethnicities and ages, because I think I tend, especially because a lot of my art practice, especially in my teenage years, was, you know, what I knew. So my own face and the people surrounding me. I didn't really draw a variety of people, especially because I think it was also in my anime phase. So everyone had big eyes and, you know, very similar face structure and body types. So I think those are things I would like to work on. And if anything, that is what I learned from this page, that they are things I need to work on. So even though I'm not happy with it, with this outcome in this, the way I drew these heads, I at least learned something and have to acknowledge a weakness that I have. So this is the page that I'm really proud of. This page is what made the page before it somewhat worth it, because I think it really warmed me up for this drawing. And I basically found a photo of a girl holding her dog on Pinterest, which I will put a link to the board for this video down below. And it really resonated with me. I lost my dog in July of 2021. I have mentioned her a couple times on this channel. I even did 2 videos that centered around painting a picture of her for my brother for Christmas. So we did just pass the 3rd anniversary of her death this July. And it's funny because it feels like so much more time has passed, but at the same time, no time has passed. I don't know how to explain it. Like in some moments, I just feel like it's been 10 years already, and then others, I'm like, I feel like she was just here. So it's just crazy to me how grief works. Unfortunately, not too long after the 3rd anniversary of her death, I'm talking like within days, my mom told me that my other family dog, Sunny, has a growth between his legs. So we did get it checked out, but I kind of already knew that it was cancer based on what she was telling me, and she also thought the same thing. Unfortunately, it is an aggressive form of cancer, so he doesn't have much longer to live. He's not a puppy anymore, so I get why the recommendation is not to put him through surgery and radiation. Being a Golden Lab German Shepherd mix, they only live to about 12 years of age, and he's 11, almost 12. I think he turns 12 probably by the end of this year. We don't really know his birth date because we adopted him from a kill shelter. But he's lived a long, and I would say pretty fulfilling life. Very much loved. So I think it's not worth putting him through that personally. But still, he's my dog, so he's family. I will be flying up to see him at my grandfather, who also isn't really doing well, at the end of this month. So I told my mom, you know, I would like to see if he could live till then. But if not, if he shows any signs of discomfort or pain, I also told my mom not to wait. So we're going to see how things go. If he can wait, I did tell her I would like to be present when he passes, which means we would be putting him down the weekend I'm there. I was present for my other dog's passing, so I figured, like, why not him? But then I was also remembering just how painful that had been. Just remembering her face and knowing and seeing in real time her pass. And now I'm having second thoughts about it, because I feel like as one of his family members, as someone who loves him, I owe it to him to be there. Because if, like, the roles were reversed, and I know this is kind of weird to say, but if the roles were reversed, I would want my family members there and around me when I pass. But at the same time, I don't know, because, like, at the same time, then I think I don't want to put them through that kind of pain. So I keep going back and forth on it. But, like, really to go through that again, I don't know. So I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. I think another thing that I also considered was maybe he's not ready at that point. And if that's the case, I'm more than happy to be on, I guess, like, my iPad on the phone when he passes. Well, not happy, but it's just a difficult situation. He's a really good boy, the sweetest. And when I saw this drawing, when I saw this photo that I did the drawing of, the dog reminded me of him. And he's like this. He'd let you hug him like this, just sit there and let you hold him. He wasn't, I wouldn't say he's the most, it's hard to say. Like, he's kind of affectionate in that he wants to be pet, he wants your attention, but he's not a kissy dog. Like, if he gave you a kiss, it was, like, a rare occurrence, and it was, like, a wholesome thing. Same thing with my other dog who passed 3 years ago. She was not a kissy dog. She did not like licking people. So when you got a kiss from her, it was like a special thing. I would really like to do a painting of him at some point. I have done 2 paintings in the past of my other dog, and I think I want to memorialize him in the same manner. So when I'm in New Jersey, I'll be taking many videos and photos of him to use as reference. I would also like to do a painting of him and my other dog Crystal together, as they were both big, joyful parts of my life. This sketch wasn't easy from an emotional standpoint, but it also wasn't easy from a technical standpoint. I am not used to drawing clothing folds, combat boots with a ton of shoestrings going back and forth. That was the part you'll see I didn't try very hard with that. But there is a lot of erasing that you, again, did not see because I cut it out. I still included some, but not all of the clips where I am erasing. And this did take me a bit more than an hour to complete. I enjoyed it, though. This struggle was an enjoyable one. And when I compare it to the faces I drew on the previous page, it's very easy for me to see the difference between what is considered fun and what is not, and what had to continue and what probably shouldn't have. I am also, as I said, very happy with the results of this sketch. I see the points for improvement. As I mentioned, the clothing folds as well as the boots. But I really love how I did the shading, and I'm extremely proud of the dog's face. I think I did a really good job on it. So that's all I really have to say about this page. We do have one more, though, so stick around to see that one. If you have liked this video so far, please consider giving it a like. It lets me know that you guys like this kind of content and means I will create more of it most likely. So I am going to let the drawing sounds take over for a little bit, and I'll be back for the last page. So after drawing that last page, I will admit I wasn't sure what to draw afterwards. I was feeling a bit emotional, but also kind of on a high after completing such a sketch. I decided to draw a couple of cats. I feel like that's what a lot of people go to when they want to draw something, but they don't know what. I thought, why not? They're pets, lovable ones, and though I've never had the pleasure of having my own cat, I would consider myself both a dog and a cat person. So if I wasn't allergic, I would definitely have one, but unfortunately I am. The reference photos I did for these two were also on Pinterest. I really just enjoyed the poses. I thought they were somewhat unique, and I liked how they both fit on the page side by side. It took me probably just under 20 minutes to draw both of them, and overall I am happy with how they turned out. And as we are now reaching the end of the video, I did want to reflect on this weekend. I spent a Saturday evening and a Sunday afternoon finishing up this sketchbook, and this is the first sketchbook that I actually finished in my life, which is crazy to me. I've always been the kind of person that switched between sketchbooks. I don't know why. I never completed a full one. I always had gotten maybe like a couple pages in, or in the worst case, and then in some cases maybe halfway through, and then I'd switch to a different sketchbook. But I'm very proud to have finished this one. It also had been so long since I had sat down and just drew for so long a time. And at the end of the day, I felt so satisfied by all that I had accomplished. It was like my glass was full. I don't know how else to explain it. And I think it was just something I forgot brought me that much joy. I want to strive to spend more time creating in the future, as I do think it is a big part of who I am. That high that I think runners experience after they do a marathon, I experience after completing a really good drawing or a sketchbook page or a painting. And I don't think it's just 2D art for me either. I think I get the same amount of satisfaction from sewing or crocheting something. Pottery too kind of gives me the same feeling of my cup feeling full. And I think it's part of being an artist. Creating is just as essential to us as breathing or water. And I've been neglecting that need for a very long time. I want to prioritize it going forward because I didn't realize just how important it was to me until recently, I think. I mean, I always knew it was something I enjoyed and that it was something that I needed in my life to some degree, but I think it needs to be more than what I initially thought. So there will be a sketchbook tour coming soon, and not too long after that, I'll be starting another sketchbook. I do hope to spend a lot more time in it more frequently than I did in this sketchbook, so we'll see if I finish it sooner. That might be a good sign that I'm spending enough time on what makes me happy. So I just finished. I have one page left in the sketchbook, which I will be doing in a separate video, but I think I'll start filming it today because I would like to at least get the sketch done for what I want to do. But I'm really excited because I think I'm pretty much going to have all the pages filled today. Just the last page won't be done today probably. So it took me about 4 hours almost, just shy of it, like 15 minutes. I did take a half-hour break to eat lunch, and I did take a couple breaks throughout just to find what I wanted to draw. So I would say like overall maybe it took me 3 hours-ish to finish 3 pages, which seems about right on average. I think it takes me about an hour to finish a sketchbook page, which is crazy to me, but I mean it also depends on what I'm drawing. So I did do a couple pages in here that I'm pretty happy with. The first page I did I wasn't too happy with, but what came after was really good, so I think that was a good warm-up. And if you want to see the full sketchbook tour, I will be uploading that probably in 2 weeks. Keep your eyes peeled for that. Subscribe if you want to see it. You ring that little bell, it'll let you know when that video comes out. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of your week. I'll see you next Wednesday. Bye guys.